celebrates 10 years of independence. This stadium holds, when it's full, 80,000. It's far from full this evening, and maybe the weather, we've had a huge downpour over the last half hour or so, is something to do with that, because everybody in this stadium will be soaking wet, all the spectators, at the end of the hour and a half here this evening when this game is through. Let's have a look then at the Ukrainian side. They drew, of course, with Norway on Saturday evening, and one change from the side that got that goalless draw against Norway. Out goes Artem Yashkin, and he's replaced by Tottenham's Sergei Rebrov, a side very much made up of players from Shakhtar Donetsk, and 8 of the squad are from Dinamo Kiev, and of course there's Andrei Shevchenko from Milan in Italy. Onto the Welsh side then, and as for Wales and Mark Hughes, no Robbie Savage for this trip. His knee couldn't withstand 2 games in the space of 5 days. Simon Davis, a clubmate of Rebrov at Tottenham, of course, wins his first full cap. He came on as a substitute against the Ukraine back in March, and Mark Delaney, fit again, replaces Kit Symons in defence. The officials this evening here in the Ukraine are from Portugal. The man in the middle is Paulo Gomez, and the Ukraine in search of their first home victory in this competition. They've won on their travels on 2 occasions, in Armenia and in Norway. Here in the Ukraine, they've lost at home in the first game by 3-1 against Poland, and drawn goalless on both occasions against Belarus and Norway. If you don't like heights, then you wouldn't be commentating here this evening. It's the highest and the furthest position I've ever been away from a ground at any game at any sort of level. And Ian Walsh, former Welsh international, alongside me. It's a big test for Wales in Kievian.
It is, and thankfully the rain is down to a bit of a drizzle now, so that'll help the players a little bit. Walked on the pitch a little bit earlier, you can see the ball just picking up a little bit of surface water there, but they should be able to zip the ball about, and hopefully we should have a good game on our hands. But yeah, big game for Wales. First 20 minutes, as normal, is very, very important.
And Mark Pembridge immediately into the action. Didn't train on Monday, struggling with an ankle injury, but is fit and has recovered. But it's an early touch for Rebrov, and Rebrov, who wasn't particularly impressive in the game in Cardiff, was substituted on that occasion, and he'll be keen to do well this evening.
Well, let's hope that he has his shooting boots on like that and blasting them over the top. But again, he obviously is going to be a danger with Shevchenko. There we see him just try to dip it over Paul Jones, but that one going off the side of his boot. But he's the danger man, obviously. The boys at the back have got to be very, very tight when Shevchenko and Rebrov have the ball in and around the penalty box.
Early check, touch for Alexander Shavkovsky. This stadium here in Kiev being redeveloped. One of several stadiums in this city of 3 million people, so you could fit Wales, the nation of Wales, into the Ukraine, or into Kiev rather. Here's Dmitry Parfenov, plays his football in Russia, Spartak Moscow, towards Vorobyev. Plenty of movement in the middle. Rebrov is there, behind Paul Jones, and a goal kick for Wales. There is Andrei Shevchenko, very much the hero of Ukrainian football. We seem to be having a running commentary on the game in the stadium as well. It has been played for about 2 minutes, and public address system in full flow. Throw to the Ukraine. Rebrov. Down he goes under the challenge from Melville. Whistles around the ground here. Under 21 game last night, played the famous Dinamo Kiev stadium. Wales played well, but lost by 1-0. Looking for a bit more luck this evening. In it comes, headed away by Gary Speed, and Blake completes that clearance. Shavkovsky well out of his goal. Yuri Dimitrulin's back flick doesn't work. Welsh players and team were desperately disappointed by the events in the second half against Poland, and the determination to make up for that lacklustre 45 minutes. Here is Nathan Blake, and stopped in his tracks. Referee allows play to go on. Blake still has possession. Gary Speed appealing for a free kick for the initial challenge on Blake.
Yeah, Nathan,
referee ignores him.
Yeah, Nathan was looking for the free kick there on the edge of the penalty box. It was a good early ball actually from Mark Delaney down the right-hand side. Ukraine defenders on the left-hand side had gone to sleep a little bit and just got that half a yard of space, but unfortunately for Nathan, didn't win the free kick.
Yuri Dimitrulin is injured after making a challenge here.
Just looking for half a yard there. Just knocked off balance as he's about to strike the ball.
Stop in play. There's the Ukrainian captain, Alexander Hlovko, captain of both Dynamo Kiev and his country. Shevchenko, who scored 5 of the 6 Ukrainian goals in this qualifying campaign, was seen amongst the favourites to qualify, but was shocked by the opening defeat in the group, 3-1 at home here to Poland. Race restarts. Shevkovsky's goal kick. It's a Ukrainian throw, taken by Parfenov. Pembridge. Giggs, a touch to Speed, given away by Gary Speed. Problems here for Wales. Ball is played through, there's options in the middle. Rebrov was waiting. What looked a promising position for Wales suddenly became desperate defence, and it was very nearly given away again there by Mark Pembridge.
Yeah, Gary Speed trying to pass the ball through the Ukraine midfield, through the player, and no way was going to find Bernard down on that left-hand side. This is eventually then comes out to the right-hand side, and it's Timoshchuk who hits it. Good save from Paul Jones to his right. He'll have to be on form tonight. And then Mark Pembridge just clearing up. Got to be so careful, they break at you so quickly, the Ukrainians.
Meanwhile, Wales have possession. Blake was caught very late indeed there, Nathan Blake, by Dmitry Parfenov. Caught late on Saturday as well, and interesting, Ian, again the referee not asserting his authority. I think that was a yellow card offence.
Well, he doesn't look too happy there, does he, Nathan? I think he's in a little bit of agony. Parvanov just, again, he flicks it round the defender. Great little bit of skill. Oh, this is going back to Rebrov's effort. Great bit of skill from Nathan Blake, just nicking it around the defender, and then Parvanov just clattered into the back of him.
Something tells me this evening we'll see quite a few action replays involving the Ukrainians, not too much.
Yeah, not too much for the Welsh.
We're not seeing this challenge on Nathan Blake, which is, well, we might see it now.
Well, this is the ball. I think Mark Delaney just knocks it in lovely outside of the left peg, flicks it round. Oh, referee. That's got to be a booking. Problems you have tonight as well. We've had that rain before, all day yesterday and a bit before the match. Top surface is very, very slippery.
Well, the officials have let Wales and Nathan Blake down there. That was disgraceful. Showing a bit of weakness there, or not keeping up with the game, the officials. So blatant, I'm amazed the assistant referee didn't see anything. Mark Delaney with the throw. Wales convinced missed the powers of recovery of Mark Delaney with his pace on Saturday at the back.
Well, at the back and going forward, Ian, because when he gets that opportunity, he has got a great change of pace, great stride there for him to get down that right-hand side, and usually when he gets in a good position, he makes very good use of the ball. So, given the opportunity tonight, let's hope he can get down that right-hand side.
Holovko with the header forward. Page wins the ball. Blake, there was offside. It's been a slow start to the game, and not the expected Ukrainian onslaught, maybe.
Well, they're playing 4 up front, with Shevchenko down on the left-hand side. You've got the 10, Vorobyev up front, with Rebrov just dropping off, and there's a wide player on the right-hand side as well. They desperately need to win, Ukraine, and they will be pushing men forward as often as possible.
The determination shown by John Hartson. Jones has plenty of time just to steady himself. There was a push there by Gary Speed on Anatoly Timoshchuk. Pembridge in solidly and quickly on Rebrov. Darren Bernard towards Hartson. The touch on looking for Giggs, and Vaschuk with his touch just evading the left boot there of Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, you can see what Mark Hughes is trying to achieve with Simon Davis in the side as the ball goes up to John Hartson. The little knockdown, little flick-ons. Within a fraction of a second, Ryan Giggs and Simon Davis were trying to join in to pick up the pieces. So he will be the focal point up there, John Hartson, on his own. And I'm sure they'll be knocking a few high balls in there and getting midfield players to support.
Hartson knocks on, looking towards Blake on that occasion. Headed away by Vaschuk. Vorobyev. The referee has given the decision against Wales. Ukraine waste little time taking the free kick. Dimitrulin, Rebrov. Simon Davis after him, headed away by Gary Speed. Here is Speed again for Wales. Giggs. Blake. Page. Hartson battling away. Speed in strongly. Hartson just offside, although I think Dimitrulin was keeping him onside.
Yeah, maybe there was half a yard there for Ryan Giggs. Instead of playing the ball into the channel for John Hartson, maybe do a little bit of magic on the edge of the penalty box. But again, I doubt you'll see that.
Vorobyev. Vorobyev's made his way to the middle. Shevchenko's there too, that comes to Vorobyev. Simon Davis was back there. Good understanding with Paul Jones.
Yeah, good tracking back from the midfield player inside his own penalty box. Vorobyev just about to strike, but does enough. Good ball into the heart of the penalty box. Just Simon Davis just gets a little touch there, stands on his feet, clearing the danger.
Timoshchuk is driven wide, and it's off Darren Bernard for the first corner of the game. Gennady Zubov will take this. Plenty of Ukrainian forwards up there, and it's hit too long. Parfenov, Simon Davis after him, and it's a goal kick. Big moment for it. I know he came on at the Millennium Stadium, Ian, but in front of his home crowd is a big test, isn't it? First full away cap in the Ukraine.
Yeah, and going to give that little bit of width down the right-hand side, plus, you know, the opportunity to go and join in with the front players. You know, Wales playing 4-3-3 with Mark Pembridge in the centre, Simon Davies right side of midfield and Gary Speed left, but you know, big responsibility but a great opportunity.
Proud members of the family in West Wales, I would imagine, Ian. A few phone calls being made.
Yeah, there was, especially when we found out he was going, God, he can hit it from here.
Pembridge hits it and took a deflection.
Yeah.
Not enough power just to go out for the corner.
Yeah, because, you know, on a pitch like this, you can strike the ball from 30 or 40 yards. You know, if you do strike it and you keep it on target, it's difficult for the keeper because it just races towards you off this wet surface.
Not quite sure what's the referee giving now.
Yeah, he's given it the other way.
Mark Hughes was showing some frustration on the bench there, so too Mark Bowen. It's been a big test for the Welsh management. Maybe the first time they've had to really lift the players after Saturday's defeat. Shevchenko. Wales will settle for that all night.
Yeah, and the flailing arms of Shevchenko, they're blaming on somebody else for a poor ball. I think we're seeing that because they haven't scored in the last couple of games. A little bit of frustration. Wales have got to be on their guard though, because they're very, very interchangeable, these strikers for Ukraine. Vorobyev, Shevchenko, Rebrov, they can all move around, great ability on the ball. The likes of Robert Page, Andy Melville have got to be on their toes.
First quarter of an hour or so have gone and passed relatively unscathed, the Welsh defence. One real Ukrainian attack. Paul Jones forced into action. Otherwise they'll be quite content with the way things have gone. Rebrov just selling himself and his teammates a bit short. Here's Gary Speed. Bernard, Giggs outside. So far the Ukrainians have kept a close watch on Ryan Giggs. Here's Melville. Wales can't afford any slackness at the back. Here comes Page, going a long way forward, and now has to challenge back. Now 4 or 5 on shirts there, and that's not a particularly good ball. Easy for Mark Delaney.
Yeah, well, what Robert Page went forward there to have the attempt on goal. Gary Speed, very, very professional, just sat in that back position that Robert Page had vacated to get forward.
Hartson, good turn from John Hartson. Here's Giggs. Wide is Blake. Decided to go himself. Too many Ukrainian shirts there. Here comes Shevchenko on this left-hand side. Just hits the heel of Robert Page. Gary Speed can pull this ball away towards Giggs. Flick from Giggs, but I don't think he was quite sure where the ball was.
Yeah, very rigid, aren't they? With you can see Nathan Blake on this near side here. You know, obviously he'd love to be playing up front alongside, but Hartson on his own up front with the likes of Davis and Ryan Giggs trying to join in. But it's Nathan Blake's job again, as it was on Saturday, just to police this right-hand side for Wales.
Facing Dimitrulin. Oh, lovely turn from Rebrov. Simon Davies trying to close him down. Touch to Shevchenko. Shevchenko. Intelligent use of the ball. Played across, and it very nearly dropped on the head of Vorobyev, was it?
No, I think it was Rebrov.
Rebrov was at the far side,
yeah.
And it's out for a goal kick to Wales.
Yeah, it was Zubov, right-hand side. Shevchenko setting the ball up. Hits it into the far post. Rebrov, not the biggest lad in the world, and he didn't jump very high either. Zubov coming in on his left foot. whipping it into that far post, and a token effort really from Rebrov. Doesn't score too many with his head, obviously.
Well, the referee's booked Paul Jones for time wasting. I can hardly believe that. We've played barely 18 minutes, and that's the incredible thing. He books Paul Jones, and yet the Ukrainian
challenge
was not punished for the challenge.
Yeah.
You know, Parfenov is not punished for the challenge on Nathan Blake. Incredible, really. Free kick to Wales, however. Darren Bernard takes it, looking towards Hartson. Just a bit too high for John Hartson. Unable really to climb high enough just to power the ball across goal, where Gary Speed was waiting in the middle.
Yeah, but he'll be happy with that, John. Not so much the final header, but he's just pulling off at the far post. The ball delivered a little bit straighter, might have seen him attack it a little bit better. But, you know, he's winning his fair share, as you'd expect from the big man up front.
Here's Dimitrulin. Made a good run down this left-hand side. He's got Shevchenko in the middle. Everybody misses it. Well, Wales will be relieved at that effort, which was Zubov, and was pretty awful in the end.
You can see why now. They haven't scored for the last couple of games. It's the finishing from them down that right-hand side has been dreadful. Good run from Dimitrulin down the left-hand side, comes to Zubov, has loads of time to set himself up. I think it looked there, he didn't know whether to blast it or bend it, did neither, and just planted it over the bar.
It is quite funny, really, with the talent that they have in front of goal, that they do struggle to score goals. Here's Nathan Blake. Plays it through to Gary Speed. Try to flick it back for Simon Davis, but Simon Davis wasn't there. Now then, it's 3 against 2 here. Zubov with the ball. They've allowed Wales to get some players back, and the immediate danger has gone. Or has it? It's played towards this far side, and Mark Delaney can't prevent the corner. It was Parfenov who'd made the run down this left-hand side. Wales were caught for a few seconds there. Yeah, short at the back.
Yeah, all credit to Darren Bernard there. I thought he did ever so well just to hold up the play, given the opportunity of the rest of the Welsh defenders to get in place. As his partner alongside him, Andy Melvin, did exactly the same.
Corner was taken short. It's back to Zubov onto his right foot. Headed away, and it might drop, and it did drop, and the shot was over. And it was Rebrov who had the shot. Fell kindly for him, but it was too high.
Yeah, he's not the biggest lad in the world, Rebrov, and that one was a volley above hip height, couldn't get his left peg over it. The ball comes in from the left-hand side, whipped in with the right foot. Wales not clearing it, and his standing leg just disappearing from under him. Couldn't make a good contact.
In the meantime, Wales have a free kick. Mark Pembridge will take. Nathan Blake has drifted along to the right-hand side of the penalty area. John Hartson is on the edge of the D. Ryan Giggs has made his way too, so Gary Speed, and it's towards Hartson.
Oh, that's too far, that's too deep. You know, John just likes it into his chest so he can attack it and flick it on. Free kick was hit too firmly by Mark Pembridge.
Speed. Oh, hit too far ahead of Simon Davis. Just a delicate touch, and Davis could have been through. Approaching the midway point in the first half here in the Olympic Stadium. If you're just joining us, it's the Ukraine 0, Wales 0. A game which the Ukraine are desperate to win. Have yet to win at home in World Cup qualifying Group 5. Here comes Ryan Giggs. Speed. Blake's got acres of space wide on the right-hand side. Delaney's wide on the right now, seen by Pembridge as well. Good position taken up by Delaney. Ball was a bit slow coming to him. Pembridge again. Towards Hartson. Comfortably headed away. Dimitrulin for the Ukraine. Page was in strongly. Hartson's touch, Giggs wanted some width. Giggs himself had come in field. Played it straight to Dimitrulin, and here come the Ukraine with Timoshchuk. Rebrov, Shevchenko's making a run now. It's towards Shevchenko. Down he goes, but no foul by Delaney. He's been watched all the way by Mark Delaney.
Yeah, he tracked him back very well. Mark Delaney didn't gamble, he went all the way rather than standing up to catch Shevchenko offside. This is the ball through, and Delaney always goal side, doing ever so well, standing on his feet, letting the striker fall over. But this is the ball just in between centre half and full back, but Delaney, excellent position, just tucking in alongside Robert Page.
Zubov. Bashchuk. Bashchuk again with 4 Dynamo Kiev players in the starting lineup. Ball was threaded through by Starostyak. Giggs appeals for a free kick. Hartson's touch to Giggs. Delaney under a bit of pressure. And Delaney just knocked off the ball by Shevchenko. It's Dimitrulin again for the Ukraine. Rebrov towards Shevchenko. Delaney keeps the ball in play well. Nothing really on for him there. Vorobye to Dimitrulin. Well won by Blake to Hartson. Plays it behind Simon Davis though and gives the ball away. Timoshchuk it was who received it. Here goes Shevchenko. Well played, Mark Delaney. Here's Gary Speed. 3 up ahead for him. One of them is Ryan Giggs. There's Simon Davis in the middle. Giggs went for the early shot or the early cross and it was blocked by Bashchuk. Yeah,
that's where we want to see Ryan Giggs, you know, going at defenders. Ball slid down the side of him. The likes of Gary Speed can do that and using Ryan Giggs' pace. And then we have to see the likes of Nathan Blake, Simon Davis, John Hartson, you know, really killing themselves to get into the penalty box to get on the end of the cross.
The lethargy of Saturday against Poland so far. Forgotten Hartson! That was a chance for John Hartson, the best Welsh chance so far. A downward header, a firm connection, and Wales would have been in the lead, but it just went wide of that post.
You'd fancy John to do a lot better. Good whip ball in from Barnard, side of the foot, dipping into the far post, free header. Oh, just missing the upright. But John, in the vein of form that he's in with Wales at the moment, you'd expect him to bury this in the back of the net. Heads it down, does everything right. Misses the target at the near post.
Well, chances one would imagine will be few and far between here in Kiev this evening, and Wales need to take them. One consolation, at least they're capable of creating them. We know that. Arguably, Ian, despite the Ukrainian possession, best chance of the game.
Oh, definitely the best chance, there's no doubt about that. Clear chance, and the man you'd want in that position out of all the 22 players out there would be John Hartson, in at the far post. Striker's dream, really, just drifted away from the defender. Great positional sense from John Hartson, but he failed to finish it off.
A let-off for the Ukraine, disappointment for Wales. Here's Vasyuk. They're building up on that right-hand side. Coming short is Zubov this time. Lacking quality when they're knocking the ball into the Welsh penalty area. Certainly on the evidence of what we've seen in the first 28 minutes or so here. Nathan Blake. Simon Davis caught in the back by Parfanov.
You know, as this game progresses, Wales will grow in confidence, because Wales haven't really been threatened on a consistent basis, and we're so used to seeing that, aren't we, with the likes of Ukraine dominating possession, opening up the defence, but they haven't done that so far.
Just the touch from Gary Speed. Ball was just too high for John Hartson. Here's Rebrov, tries to get away from Delaney, can't do so. Blake, asking a lot of Hartson, who recovered well. Too far for Simon Davis. Here's Parfanov. Vasyuk to play it behind Delaney, got there ahead of
oh, he's pulled his hamstring. He's pulled his hamstring.
He's going
Can't
to go
believe
off.
it. He's got to go. Oh, that's you feel for him. Absolutely big time. You feel for him. Just it's incredible that he has obviously got a weakness there. I don't know whether it's the same leg, but as he's gone to just change his body position to head that ball, his hamstring has gone.
He didn't train on Monday, or he didn't kick a ball, he was just running, and that's what ruled him out of the game on Saturday against Poland, was the hamstring problem.
And do you know what, 30 minutes into the game, you'd have bet that he would have said, that's it, I'm fine, you know, I've gone through the first 30 minutes, the important time, now I can get myself into the game. But again, just the body position change, I'm sure it was, as he's just turned himself. If you see here, just, oh, oops, you can just see the left hamstring go.
Well, that's desperate disappointment for Mark Delaney, and for Wales if he does go off in, because obviously Delaney's,
no way
he looks such an accomplished player, and obviously the Welsh defence has benefited from having him playing there this evening.
As the lads will say in the studio, he's the one player we've got at the back with pace. And the likes of Shevchenko playing. Well, that was nice from Dimitrulin.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll get one.
Smashed it back.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll
Delaney.
get one from Hartson or Blake before the end of the match. But and Robert Page.
They haven't given up hope of Mark
unless
Delaney.
it's a spasm, maybe.
The ball from Ryan Giggs, Simon Davis, Hartson drifting away in the middle. It's played towards Hartson. Might go, is he being pushed there? Surely. Ryan Giggs is furious, and John Hartson was running in onto that ball and was just pushed in the back. Mark Hughes is absolutely furious on the touchline. And Zubov went down. Was obviously looking, well, Mark Delaney's back on the field now.
Well, that's incredible.
It might have been, as you said, Ian,
just a spasm, maybe.
Because he's obviously...
well, that's incredible.
Fouled there as well. He's running as smooth as ever. This is the incident again. The ball played across
Great ball
Hartson.
from Simon Davis. Oh, the defender just lunged into the back of John Hartson to put him off his stride. He knew he was going to be second best, the defender. Can't believe the referee hasn't given that decision to John Hartson.
Page. Hartson's there, wins it well. Ukraine give possession away to Hartson. Hartson just didn't connect properly.
Again, I think it was his standing foot from John Hartson, just as about pulling the trigger, and his standing leg goes away on the slippery surface, and again the contact wasn't the best.
Wales could be in trouble here. Offside, is it? No, it's hit the crossbar. Is it crossing the line? Oh, Mark Delaney.
Oh, he didn't mean that as a back pass, referee. Oh, come on.
How on earth has he given that as a back pass? It just bounced back off him. That is an amazing decision by the referee. It just hit Mark Delaney. He didn't know where the ball was. It's a let-off for Wales in terms of the initial shot hitting the crossbar.
Well, this is Zubarov down the left-hand side, comes in, tries to get it on his favoured right foot. Wales get the look, and then he's just, well, he doesn't know that he's just going to pick the ball up there. That's unbelievable, referee.
Well, this is the shot from Zubov.
They get the look there, Wells, and then now they don't get the look there.
Mark Delaney doesn't know where the ball is. How on earth he's given a free kick there? Well, the decisions have gone against Wales this evening here in Kiev with this Portuguese official, Paulo Gomes. Now then, will Wales survive? Anxious moments. Dimitrulin's there, so too is Shevchenko, so too is Vasyuk. This would be desperate for Wales, and its shot is blocked, and well, the Ukraine did not deserve anything from that. That was a poor refereeing decision, I have to say, not the first this evening. Dimitrulin finds Vasyuk. And again the shot comes in from Zubov, but this time it's gathered comfortably by Paul Jones.
Yeah, good hands from the keeper. Tricky conditions for goalkeepers tonight with that ball coming in at you. This is Zubov again, picking up, hits the target this time. Made it look quite easy, Paul Jones, but any save in conditions like this, he keeps hold of it.
Well, things hotting up in the last few minutes, plenty to talk about. Vasyuk's long ball, good touch towards Zubov, and Ryan Giggs is back there helping Darren Bernard. But the free kick decision, Ian, was quite unbelievable.
It was a joke decision from the referee, there's no doubt about that. He didn't give John Hartson the penalty at the other end of the field, so a lot of frustrated people on the bench there for Wales, and I'm sure amongst the players, because we didn't have a good referee on Saturday either, and it seems to be carrying on tonight. But it's international football, a lot of the players are used to it, they've got to get on with it.
And I'm sure that's what Mark Hughes will be telling his players in the second half. There's less than 10 minutes to go until the interval. By the way, after an hour in Yerevan, the scoreline was Armenia 1, Poland 1. Hartson. And he was being pulled down, and this time the referee has given the decision to Wales, and it's gone against Vladislav Vasyuk, and this is a great position for Wales. Their best position as an attacking force in the game so far. And Ryan Giggs and Gary Speed, Mark Pembridge immediately over the ball.
Yeah, it's got to be Giggs from here, with his left peg, central position, see if he can just flight it over the ball. But Mark Delaney will be coming off after this, Ian, because Stephen Jenkins is warming up. And brave effort from Delaney.
He's going straight off immediately.
Brave effort from the youngster.
This is the free kick, though. The challenge was made by Holovko, the captain. So Steve Jenkins comes on to replace Mark Delaney. That's a blow to Wales, but what can they make of this free kick? Here is Steve Jenkins coming on to win his 14th cap this evening, the Huddersfield player. So Ukraine have everyone back in this wall. Darren Bernard is there, so too is Giggs. Here comes Giggs, floating off the post and headed away for a corner by the goalkeeper Shubkovsky.
Well, we've had no luck, absolutely no luck in the first 37 minutes of this match. Penalty disallowed, referee giving a silly decision against Delaney, and look at this. Ryan Giggs, perfect. Keeper, no chance. And he hits the post.
Davis, here's Giggs. Back to Simon Davis, a gap opens up for Davis. And Ukraine struggling to clear. Here's Darren Bernard. Looking towards Blake, goalkeeper comes a long way. Oh, the Ukraine all over the place at 6s and 7s there. Well, Wales will feel that certainly they could have got something out of this game so far. It's goalless. So easily could have been 1-0. That free kick from Ryan Giggs. Shevkovsky was rooted to the spot.
Yeah.
How unlucky can you get?
Yeah, it looked there as if Ryan Giggs showed the keeper his eyes to go one way, and he just, you know, round the corner shot. Great deception from him. Keeper stranded to the goal line, couldn't move, and just a little bit of luck that you need deserters us.
Full period of play by the Ukrainians. Lovely flick by Giggs looking for Hartson. Bernard again towards Hartson. And this time Vaschuk prevents the corner.
The tremendous centre-forwards role John Hartson is playing tonight. Everything you'd expect from a lad up front. He's winning the flick-ons, he's strong with the ball into his feet, making great angles and bringing in the supporting players.
Moschuk waiting for the run by Starostiak. He's made the forward run now. But Darren Bernard just playing Gary Speed into a bit of trouble. And Melville can clear. Lack of concentration for a second there between Speed and Darren Bernard. Into the final 5 minutes of this first half at the Olympic Stadium in Kiev. Goalless. And it'll be a goal kick. Some strange refereeing decisions have been made. Mark Delaney, who was being so impressive for Wales, has gone off with a recurrence of his hamstring problem, replaced by Steve Jenkins, and Ryan Giggs has hit the post with a free kick for Wales. But not recognisable. Wales as the side who played in the second half, are they, on Saturday? Ian?
No, again they've lifted to a sort of high level of performance. You know, it hasn't been great football. It's been a battling performance. Ukraine, you have to say, are disappointing in terms of what we know they can achieve with the players that they've got available to them. But Wales have battled. Nice formation. You've got Nathan Blake doing a very, very good job, unselfish job down on this right-hand side. You've got the midfield players joining in, and John Hartson up front, you know, has been the pinnacle really. He's up there, everybody's throwing the ball at him, and he's doing ever so well in that role. But so far so good, long way to go.
Just wonder how the Ukrainians would respond if Wales were to score and take the lead. Ryan Giggs tracking back because while Wales were despondent after Saturday's defeat, the Ukrainians, I can tell you, weren't too happy with the goalless game against Norway. Here comes Hartson, waiting for the run from Blake. It's made by Nathan Blake. Can he get there? Nathan Blake, chance here for Simon Davis, and it was good tracking back as well by the Ukrainians there, just preventing Simon Davis from getting a shot in on goal. Here comes Vorobyev, offside. Well, it was Parfanov who got back, I think, to deny Simon Davis what would have been his first international goal.
Well, but more importantly than that, if you remember back to Saturday, Hartson and Blake involved again. Hartson coming off the defender, slanting the ball through. This is again looking at Shevchenko, caught offside. Paul Jones, not to know, still does very well. But more importantly, from a Welsh point of view, great ball from Hartson through to Blake, and then side-footing it across the face of the goal to set up the chance.
Hartson, Speed, Simon Davis, the ball to Giggs, Bernard. And Melville scored in two minds. Two Ukrainians closing in on him. Starostyak with the throw. Important that Wales just keep their shape, keep their concentration for the next 2 or 3 minutes, just to go in level at half-time. Page wins it. Out of nothing, really. Paul Jones beaten with 90 seconds to go until the interval. The angle seemed so tight, but he managed to swing his right foot at the ball. Just got beyond Darren Bernard, beyond Paul Jones, and Wales are trailing 1-0.
Well, it's a lovely little 1-2 between the two players. Vorobyev and Zubov again down that right-hand side. He's had a couple of efforts, not made the most of it, but he drilled that one low and hard into the bottom corner of the net. There was enough Welsh defenders there to clear the danger, but it was a quality 1-2 between Zubov and Vorobyev. They've made Wales pay.
So close to the interval.
Yeah, it's a desperate time to give away a goal.
It's Belarus all over again, when Mark Hughes, I would imagine, was looking at the clock thinking, we can go in at half-time goalless, but that will lift the Ukrainians. It certainly lifted the crowd. But he did feel there were enough red shirts there maybe to
there was
deal with
enough
the
red
danger.
shirts, but you know, sometimes it's so difficult to mark the 1-2.
And here they come again. The pullback was poor, danger isn't over. And eventually Darren Bernard gets the better of Timoschuk. Into time added on for stoppages at the end of the first half, and I have to say, apart from the goal, Wales would have been very pleased with the way things had gone.
They would have been delighted, but again, you see, that's international football. You've got to be on your guard for the full 45 minutes in the first half, plus any extra time the referee deems to be played. And just that fractures a little bit of sharpness in the penalty box. You know, can't really blame the defenders, because the 1-2 for Robyer's little layoff to Zubov was fantastic. And he's just hit it low and hard across the face of goal and given Paul Jones no chance.
They've had a minute of stoppage time in this first half here in the Olympic Stadium. Ryan Giggs went so close to giving Wales the lead, hitting the post with a free kick. And Wales had looked relatively comfortable until that goal, just 90 seconds before half-time. Well, Wales have taken the lead so often in this group and have surrendered leads. Let's see if they have the character to bounce back. Simon Davis. Can ill afford to concede a second now before half-time, as Melville just forces Paul Jones into a hurried clearance and very nearly made Wales pay there.
Yeah, we can't afford to give the ball away in midfield, got to be sharper. Like Sir Simon Davis, not getting many touches on the ball, so when he gets it, you know, he's being closed down very, very quickly. This is the 1-2 again. And across the face of goal, giving the keeper no chance.
Blake. Darren Bernard. Giggs goes forward, it's towards Simon Davis. Hartson was stealing in behind. Didn't reach him though, Shevchenko. Taking on Jenkins. And Shevchenko is wasteful with the pass. 3 minutes of stoppage time played. Of course, there was the injury to Mark Delaney. He's gone off. And that is the last action of the first half, which Wales did well for the majority of the 45 minutes, containing the likes of Shevchenko and Rebrov. But they were undone a minute and a half before half-time. Zubov's goal from a tight angle after being set up by Vorobyev. And it was Ryan.
Well, more thoughts to come after the game. Remember, you can email us, wos@bbc.co.uk. We'll be going through those after the completion of tonight's game out in Kiev. But with the boys in possession, trailing by a goal to nil, let's rejoin, shall we, our commentary team out there. It's Ian Walsh, former Welsh international, of course, and alongside him, Ian Gwyn Hughes.
Thank you, Oliver. There's been one substitution for the Ukraine at half-time, and it's number 16, Oleg Luzhny, who's come on, and I think it's Mikhailo Starosiak who's gone off to be replaced by Luzhny. We'll just confirm that in a moment as Wales restart this second period, looking to get back on level terms after conceding that goal so late on in the first half and immediately concede a free kick. Just a word about the under-21 game there. It was by far their best performance in the group yesterday. They were very unlucky to lose the game, and there were some promising performances, but at under-21 level, Wales are not getting into a winning habit. Neither are the full side at the moment, as Ryan Giggs tries to run at the Ukrainian defence, doesn't get too much luck. Simon Davis and Gary Speed in quickly, so too Mark Pembridge, but free kick is given to Wales. Although Timoschuk took a bit of a knock on the back of the head. It is Mikhailo Starosiak who has gone off.
Yeah, Pembridge just catches him there as he falls over.
So it's a free kick to Wales. Andy Melville just pushed up to the edge of the penalty area, and it's floated towards Melville. Too far ahead of Andy Melville. It was John Hartson who wanted the ball. Now Melville has to get back quickly, and the break is on here as far as Shevchenko's concerned. Too close to Paul Jones. Wasn't too convincing in trying to save it. It is very slippery out there because of the heavy rain.
Yeah, it's a poor ball from Shevchenko though, isn't it? Too close to the goalkeeper. Vorobyev in the middle was waiting for the pass. I thought the free kick for Wales up to Hartson, you've got to have somebody going directly beyond him, because that's what they're expecting from the little flick on. So the movement, somebody has got to be going directly beyond John Hartson to get the knockdown.
This is the ball played in by Shevchenko.
It was too straight towards the keeper. Paul Jones there looking back at the ground, but it's just because it's slippery. Go on.
Shot, oh, good save! Simon Davis with the shot, and it was Shevkovsky who got down. John Hartson won that header well in the air from the free kick, taken by Darren Bernard, and the Kiev keeper down well to his left to prevent Simon Davis.
Yeah, it was difficult height to hit the ball with his left peg as well. Was it creeping into that bottom corner? It was a good strike, skidding off the surface.
First corner of the second half for Wales, taken by Darren Bernard. Headed away, but it was a good strike by the young Davis.
Yeah, whether we get to see that again, but a poor corner, wasn't it, from Darren Bernard? When you get the opportunity, you know, we're not having many corners. The delivery has got to be much better than that.
And here comes Zubov, maybe the pick of the players in the first half for the Ukraine. Played across again. Several options on here. And the Ukraine wasted that opportunity. 2 or 3 players on that far side waiting for a shot on goal. End to end at the start of this second half. Here's Giggs. Tried to play the ball through to Simon Davis. Well won by Darren Bernard, in strongly. Giggs.
It's very sloppy midfield. You need to have a bit better touch than that. It's a good ball into the feet, giving possession away a little bit too easily.
Ukraine being forced back. Holovko, the captain. Here's Vasyuk. Luzny. Vasyuk again. Looking for the forward run. Trying to play behind Steve Jenkins. Ball played into Shevchenko. Zubov. And it's Page struggling to clear, away by Jenkins. And here's Nathan Blake. Giggs to give chase. There's a second Ukrainian substitute on the field. It's Andrei Nesmachny, who's wearing 14. I'll just wait to confirm who's gone off. So there are two substitutes on for the Ukraine. Luzny, who's wearing 16, and Nesmachny, who's wearing 14. Speed. Bernard. Looking for John Hartson. Hartson tries to turn. Free kick given for that challenge. And it's a free kick to Wales in a good position again. And this time Gary Speed, Mark Pembridge and Ryan Giggs standing over the ball. I think it's Dimitrulin, who is wearing 6, who took a knock in the first half, who's the second Ukrainian player to leave the field. But what can Ryan Giggs conjure up here for Wales? Hit the post in the first half, of course, bit closer on that occasion. Here he is again, and this time he's way off target.
Disappointing effort from Ryan Giggs there with his left peg.
Melville plays it straight to Zubov, but Vorobye was too far from goal, and Zubov's pass too far ahead of him.
Eventually, when it comes down to Zubov, he tries to and this is for the goal again. God, they want to show this again, don't they? It's a great finish, mine, from Zubov into the bottom corner. But apart from that, I think that they've been very poor in build-up play in and around the penalty box. They've lacked a lot of composure in that area of the field. But, you know, just to get so many opportunities.
Went too clever there defensively as Ryan Giggs has the chance to cross for Hartson. Hartson heads it behind Gary Speed. And it'll go out for... It's a goal kick. There were possibilities on there, Ian.
Yeah, there was, and I felt that it seemed to go into the air perfectly for John Hartson, but again, it just drifted behind him, and then he was looking for the knockdown rather than the effort on goal. This is the one just drifting behind him there. Simon Davis went beyond the ball. Gary Speed couldn't get a touch on it with his right foot. Good run though from Ryan Giggs. We need to see him do a little bit more of that, and he was a better ball in the box.
Aaron Bernard will be penalised for the challenge on Zubov. Might just have seen Mark Hughes gesturing that he was convinced it was a dive. And it's a free kick Luzny will take. Into the penalty area it goes. It's headed across goal by Steve Jenkins. There was a foul on Mark Pembridge. Speed. Davis. That's some width from Steve Jenkins. He's got Nathan Blake up ahead. Speed making his way into the penalty area now. It's towards Hartson. Chests it down well, John Hartson. And wins a corner.
Excellent play from John Hartson. Well done, Stephen Jenkins as well. As soon as the midfield player got it, Simon Davis opened his body out, set it up the right-hand side, looking for that little bit of width that perhaps we didn't get in the first half. And that's all he had on his mind there, was knocking into the far post.
Bernard. Pembridge. Well, the one thing, Ian, that shot well off target, but the goal just before half-time certainly hasn't deflated the Welsh players.
No, I think they've obviously scoring so late in the first half was hard to deal with for the players, but they've come out. You know, again, the Ukraine aren't playing particularly well, but John Hartson, lovely bit of skill on his chest, nearly getting himself half a yard.
Nearly 10 minutes played in the second half here in Kiev. Foul given against Rebrov.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that the people back in Wales aren't seeing the opportunities that the likes of John Hartson was making for himself then on the action replays.
Here comes Giggs, two trying to close him down. Plenty of options in the middle. Speed. Pembridge. Giggs. Straight at John Hartson, and it was so powerful it came back off Hartson, but the Ukraine failed to clear. Pembridge, Giggs. Darren Bernard gave it away though. Vorobyev was back, and it's Shevchenko. Plenty of Welsh players back there, and Shevchenko slips at the vital moment. Wales can clear the lines. They should be able to. Here's Melville. Well, they've lost it badly there, Wales. There's a Ukrainian player down. And Steve Jenkins just knocks the ball into touch.
I've got to say the Welsh players will be very competitive. Right, that's the challenge coming in from Steve Jenkins on the far side, coming in from the right full-back position. Then you had Gary Speed going in there. It was Mark Pembridge maybe as well, Simon Davis, all putting their foot in, trying to win the possession.
So the Ukraine down to 10 men at the moment. This is the challenge again.
Oh, gee, both feet going over the top there from Mark Pembridge.
I think if the referee had a clearer view of that, Pembridge could well have seen the yellow card. I think the referee was just trying to get out of the way of the incident. At the moment, the Ukraine only have 10 players on the field of players. Hartson heads on looking for Speed. Pembridge towards Hartson. Another chance for Bernard maybe. Again looking towards Hartson. Can he win it this time? Ryan Giggs, and a vital touch. And it's a corner. It was Lushney. Well, he threw his body at the ball.
Yeah, Wales getting so much success now with knocking the ball into. It's a bit route one, but that's not a problem because it changes it up a little bit into John Hartson, and he's getting the majority of the knockdowns.
Blake back to Bernard. Onto that left foot again. Too close to the goalkeeper, but Tchaikovsky gets good distance as well with his punch. You're just feeling it's in periods like this when Wales are doing well, having plenty of possession, threatening, but they have to score.
Yeah, it's finding that clear-cut chance. You know, they're defending numbers, Ukraine, and they're sitting very deeply and very compact at the heart, so it's in wide positions. But we've got to get good crosses into the box. And I'm sure if we could get one or two good crosses from the byline, John Hartson will be on to a winner. But it's the likes of Darren Bernard and Ryan Giggs down this side. Steven Jenkins hopefully getting forward down the right-hand side. Players like that have to be the creators of the chance.
Usually not showing too much confidence in his goalkeeper, Shavkovsky, on that occasion. Ukraine giving the ball away, gifting it to Wales. Speed. Wales as yet haven't taken advantage. Well, Wales lost any advantage there, as referee tried to allow play to go on. Well, the Welsh players were appealing for offside. Vorobye was in an offside position, but
I think this is where we're playing it a little bit too sort of intricately in 5 and 10 yard passes. Sometimes we give possession away.
Hartson just didn't drop for him.
Nice little spell for Wales, playing the majority of the game in the Ukrainians' half.
Slight misunderstanding. This is Darren Bernard. Giggs tries to play it across, looking for Nathan Blake. It was too close to Shavkovsky.
So unlucky. Great vision from Ryan Giggs. Knew exactly what he wanted to do. Get the half yard, and he was just trying to bend it into the far post for Nathan Blake coming in. Just couldn't wrap his foot around the ball enough.
Here's Nesmachny. Speed wins that ball back again for Wales. Back to Paul Jones. Timoshchuk. The goal scorer, Zubov. Ahead of him, Vorobye. Has possession now. Page clears, and Melville acrobatically finds Ryan Giggs. Zubov again for the Ukraine. Blocked by Giggs. Well charged down, but no one up there. And Vaschuk has plenty of time.
Just having a look at Ryan Giggs there, just having a word with John Hartson and Darren Ballard. When Ryan Giggs was closing the ball down there, he was pushing his team forward. They weren't closing it quickly behind him, and that's why Ukraine are in this area of the field.
Here's Vorobye to the goal scorer again, Zubov. Chance for Vorobye to cross this time. Comes off Andy Melville. Gary Speed. Eventually Pembridge attempts to bring it clear. Parfenov. Smachny against Jenkins, off Jenkins, and it's the first Ukrainian corner in this second half. With nearly 18 minutes played, still 1-0 for the Ukraine.
Yeah, that man Shevchenko has had more of a central role up front, and from that wide left position as we saw him in the first half, as Maxley has gone out there, but stuck to his guns, Steven Jenkins, very well.
Paul Jones comes, misses it! Well, it was Shevchenko on the end of it.
Yeah, it was a great chance. Paul Jones again, ball flighted into the edge of the 6-yard box. You've got to say keepers must be favourite for this. Lets it go through his hands, and Shevchenko should have finished it off, but this is it. Paul Jones might have been nudged out of the way, but you've got to expect him to take that sort of ball.
I think if anything it was maybe the presence of Gary Speed which put him off, his own captain, but it was a chance for Shevchenko, and you would expect a player of his quality and experience of being far closer to goal than he actually was. Bernard. Foul by Rebrov, just a nudge in the back of Robert Page. Towards Hartson, flicks up, gets up well, back up for speed. Simon Davis, Jenkins, Pembridge. Jenkins keep the ball in place. Simon Davis does so well, but there were two Welsh players then out on that right-hand side. Played by Mark Pembridge, then gives the ball away. Both sides, in terms of keeping possession, Ian, and we heard the panel say at half-time, the Ukrainians particularly disappointing, despite how well Wales have played. Andy Melville could be struggling here. This is the second goal from Paul Jones. He got the vital touch as the ball dropped for Vorobye. You thought he was going to bury that, but the touch from Paul Jones onto the post, and it's still 1-0 when it could and maybe should have been 2.
Well, Vorobye, again, not the best finish in the world, but Paul Jones didn't let that cross worry him when it went through his hands. The ball over the top to Vorobye, hits it with the under part of his foot. Paul Jones just stands long enough to get that contact to knock it on the post. Better angle here. Watch Paul Jones. He doesn't commit himself too early. Falls, gets a touch, knocks it against the post. Great save.
We didn't see the incident there. They were showing the action replay, but there was a cross from the far side, and Tchaikovsky, one of the most unorthodox punches I've ever seen, and punched it backwards out for a corner. And the one thought in his mind was to punch it upfield, but it's another Welsh corner, 4th of the second half. Darren Bernard. And it's too high for Gary Speed.
Again, I don't think that's a particularly good corner. I don't think you're going to score with a header from there. Yes, Gary Speed is good in the air and he'll drift into the far post, but it's too deep. It's not in the mixer. It's not in the 6-yard box where people are going to get a little touch towards goal.
Zubov. Parfenos. Polovko. Coming up to the midway point of the second half.
Yeah, it's been a very hard sort of 60-65 minutes for the players, especially the midfield of Wales, because a lot of them has been bypassed. They're not getting many touches of the ball, and that's the problem with Ukraine. They're obviously again just trying to be a little bit too fancy in the final third. But the Welsh midfield have done a lot of running without getting too many touches of the ball, because it's going route one to John Hartson, and they've got to try to join him in those 20 or 30 yard runs.
Rebrov was crying out for the simple ball on the right-hand side. Now then, Ryan Giggs. Something special maybe from Giggs. Can he pull it back? And it's gone out for a goal kick. Just ran out of space, Giggs, on that occasion, when there were 2 or 3 Welsh players waiting for the pull-back in the penalty area.
Yeah, well, I thought he had got Vasyuk for pace, and again Vasyuk just fell over him, and maybe Ryan Giggs was looking for the penalty, looking for the contact. Game opening up a little bit now.
2 tired sides maybe. Zubov, and comes off Darren Bernard. takes this corner, headed away from danger by Gary Speed. Redross was just caught by Robert Page, and Redross will stay down.
We haven't seen much of Redross in the second half.
And requires the stretcher. Gary Speed just pointing to his wrist and just reminding the referee of the time that's being wasted. Just, you know, when you look at the Welsh bench, you know, the likes of Carl Robinson, Matthew Jones, Jason Kumas,
I think Roberts. Definitely the midfield. John Hartson's having a good game for me, so I don't think you'd bring on Ewan Roberts at the moment. Midfield, maybe, likes of Pembridge, Speed, Davis, and a lot of running. There may be an area that Mark Hughes might look at as time goes on. But as it stands at the moment,
Shevchenko, Paul Jones, second attempt, gathers it, and Vorobyev was hovering there, waiting to take advantage.
Oh, he's got the old heart in the mouth a couple of occasions with Paul Jones losing out of his hands, but you know, making up for it with that great save from Vorobyev.
Headed away by Olovko. I was just thinking about Jason Kumas, of course, needs to be capped in a UEFA competition just to guarantee the fact that he will be a Welshman. John Hartson this time is penalised. Kumas, of course, could play for England, could play for Cyprus, has opted to play for Wales. Only 21, great things expected of him in the future. In the immediate future, Wales have just under 20 minutes to try and end the season on a bit of a high. Well, there was a bit of a game in Yerevan. Armenia won, Poland won. Poland ended the game with 10 men, Armenia with 8. So 4 sent off, and latest score in Oslo is Norway 0, Belarus 1. Belkovic, the goal scorer, so that would take Belarus beyond Wales, irrespective of what happens here. One would imagine in terms of qualifying, but there's plenty to play for in terms of pride. Hopeful effort by Zubov, wanting to catch Paul Jones off his line.
Do you think they'll show us this again? I'm sure they will.
It's not whether they'll show it again, it's whether they'll show it once or twice. Now there is going to be a Welsh substitution, and it is Jason Kumas who's coming on, and it's Nathan Blake who's coming off, and what a great moment for Jason Kumas, the young Tranmere player, born in Wrexham, only 21, and as I said a little bit earlier, great things expected of him.
Well, give us an opportunity to have a look at him. Let's hope he can play on that right-hand side. All credit to Nathan Blake, not in many games this season, lasted quite well, scored the goal on Saturday. Been very unselfish, he played out of position in the last couple of games on that right-hand side, but there's a chance now for Kumas.
Of course, Nathan Blake will be in the Premiership with Blackburn Rovers next season. Here's Gary Speed. Tries to play it through, looking for Simon Davis, and away by Nesmachny. Pembridge. And yes, Mark Pembridge! It took Shavkovsky by surprise, and it stunned the crowd here. It was a mistake by the goalkeeper on the wet surface, but it was worth the effort from distance. It's gone in, and Wales, through Mark Pembridge, are back on level terms. Well, it's 1-1, and it's down to the goalkeeper and Mark Pembridge scores his 6th international goal.
Well, he hits it. I don't know whether Gary Speed gets a little touch here, and it just dips viciously in front of the keeper. Technically very poor from Shevkovsky, dips in front of him. He seems to be going one way to his right, then he changes his mind, and it comes off a very, very slippery surface underneath his hand into the back of the net. There's a lovely little smile on Pembridge's face, but he won't care now. Wales are back in it.
And they're in danger here again against Redrock. Last thing they want to do now is to concede a goal after getting back on level terms. Headed away, need to keep concentration. They say it's the worst time when you've just scored a goal. You just relax for a couple of seconds, allow the opposition in. Here they come again. Jenkins has been caught here. Down he goes. No penalty.
Oh, the referee has looked after us there.
Well, he criticised him in the first half, Ian, but
yeah. No, I think he was in a great position there, the referee, because he would be if he was on the side of Wales. But great forceful run. Stephen Jenkins lost the pace a little bit down the left-hand side. Player was always looking for contact to go over. Referee was very firm.
Zubov runs into Darren Bernard, and it's a booking for Darren Bernard.
Yeah, here it is down this left-hand side, and there's Matchley coming in from that left-hand side, looking for the penalty. There you are, referee on that side of the field. Here he comes again, always looking for contact, and he just took a dive.
Just jumped up in the air.
9 out of 10.
Well, there is a ski slope to our right where they dive off the slope, and maybe he was attempting a dive there. It's Leslie with this free kick for the Ukraine, and it's overhit, and it's out for a throw. Well, it was quite an acrobatic dive by Matchley, but just talking about the goal, Ian, Wales deserve it as well.
Yeah, I think so. You know, I think neither side at the moment deserves to be a goal down. You know, we didn't have the luck in the first half. We had a little bit of luck with that shot from Mark Pembridge, but it was always worth the try. I said in the first half, you can hit it from distance here, and the pitch is so wet that it'll just come at you very, very quickly as a keeper. And well, the keeper got his position sense all wrong there.
Away by Lushny. Less than a quarter of an hour to go then in Kiev. It's the Ukraine 1, Wales 1. A lot of positives, a lot of pluses out of this Welsh performance. A lot more discipline, a lot more shape to the side that played in that second half on Saturday.
Yeah, it's very important now to see if the players out there, all very tired, can finish off this game the stronger of the two sides. That's very important. You know, we've gone 1-0 up in a lot of games and lost the lead and lost the match. Now we've got ourselves back on an even keel. Can we go one better?
Shevchenko against Jenkins, and Jenkins combining with Kumas to deny Shevchenko on that occasion. Of course, Wales have gone behind in other games. They went behind in Armenia, came back to lead 2-1. Simon Davies in quickly and strongly, but I think the free kick was given for the initial challenge on this right-hand side, and Leslie in a hurry to take it. It has been taken. Here's Zubov. A bit more urgency now about the Ukraine pushing forward a bit more, but that goal certainly silenced the crowd. And here is the goal scorer, Mark Pembridge. Giggs, speed. Interesting to see how the Ukrainians respond. I feel that their hopes of qualifying have gone. Hartson. Wales in search of a second. Bernard, Giggs. Manages to get the ball across. Goalkeeper hasn't looked too safe on crosses. He certainly doesn't want to catch the ball tonight. He's punched everything, Shavkovsky.
I think because John Hartson's playing, he's such an influence up there that the keeper will always have half an eye on John Hartson, whether he's going to come in and clatter the goalkeeper. So keeper losing concentration, just tries to get a touch on the ball. Didn't look too confident.
Simon Davis has made a forward run. Patient build up. Down the right, might drop here for Hartson. Simon Davis is there. Davis played behind Giggs. Hartson tried to get there, couldn't do so. Hartson. Pembridge. Wales create here, looking for Simon Davis.
That was a good spell from the Welsh lads, kept possession very well. Kumas doing excellently down that right-hand side to come inside, nearly play 1-2 off Hartson.
Darren Bernard was in quickly. Bit of a gap has opened up here now, Zubov. And it was Ryan Giggs back there helping out.
Good play from Ryan Giggs. He saw that Kumas and Davis had gone up front to join in, so they needed the extra body back there. Ryan Giggs made up 20 yards to make the challenge.
Barry Speed did well to regain possession there for Wales. Hartson. Comes back to Hartson. Hartson. John Hartson. Hartson! Saved by Shavkovsky.
Excellent play from Simon Davis to go in very strongly and win the challenge, but eventually saw the chance for John Hartson. Lovely little skill again from the big striker, just drags it inside here to get on it to his right foot, doesn't quite get hold of it, into the keeper's midriff.
Simon Davis was waiting as well to take advantage if Shavkovsky failed to hold on to the ball. You get the feeling, Ian, that Wales feel they can win this one.
Well, I think they're finishing very, very strongly. You know, how different two games within 4 or 5 days make. On Saturday had a poor second half. Tonight, they've been excellent.
Still about 9 minutes to go, though. Have to keep concentration. Straight at Paul Jones. Bit of a gap opens up. It was easy for the goalkeeper. Hartson, nice and neat layoff. Pembridge. Kumas. Still going Kumas. Great determination. Giggs. Took the wrong option.
There wasn't anybody in the middle, so he tried to pull it back. Simon Davis was making up the ground on the far stick. But Ryan Giggs, rather than play it across the 6-yard box, trying to just pull it back towards the penalty spot for the sort of on-running Gary Speed.
And it's about 10 to 9 local time here in Kiev. It's coming to the end of a long, hard season, and immediately after the game, the Welsh party, and us included, straight to the airport and straight back to Cardiff.
Looking down at Mark Hughes there, just trying to gee his men forward, trying to lift them, trying to keep them going.
Be a very buoyant group going back to Wales with 3 points, let alone the 1 point that they have at the moment. Take the man, so there's a free kick to the Ukraine. Wales this time bring everyone back behind the ball, and Holobko was pushed up. So Paul Jones's goal claims it, and I think John Hartson felt there was a late, or rather Robert Page felt there was a late challenge.
Yeah, by Halovko. It was Halovko as Paul Jones seems to come and get the ball, and then Halovko came in and clattered him, and this is the ball whipped in, always dangerous, dropping on the edge of the 6-yard box. To be fair to Halovko, I think he just fell over in front of the keeper.
Melville attacks the ball. Giggs, speed. Halovko got there just ahead of John Hartson. Pembridge brought Wales level, waiting for the run from Giggs. Hartson, Pembridge, it's brought down there. No attempt whatsoever made to play the ball. And a yellow card shown. Wales have taken the free kick quickly. Yellow card against Parfanoff, by the way. Kumas attempting to break down that right-hand side. Melville. Here's Gary Speed. There's some width from Darren Bernard. Great layoff, John Hartson. Played short for Giggs, too short maybe. But Wales certainly finishing strongly. 5 minutes to go. Davis pulled back, free kick Wales. Pulled back by Shevchenko.
Simon Davis is suffering a little bit of cramp here. To be expected. You know, he's covered a lot of the field trying to support the front men. That's a good opportunity now. Ball flighted in towards the penalty spot.
Bernard. Well, it was towards the penalty spot, but there was no one there. But Pembridge. Speed.
Corner.
It's fifth corner of the second half.
I think it's been an excellent finish from the Welsh players. You know, since getting back on equal terms, they've been the more likely team to score. And Mark Hughes down on the sidelines now, hoping that Darren Bernard can knock this ball in with quality.
4 minutes to go. Well, there was a distinct lack of quality there in that corner. Simon Davis gives Darren Bernard another chance. Again, can't get it across. This time Simon Davis does. He might drop here. Drop for Jason Kumas. And it'd be great for him to cap his first appearance with a goal, but Darren Bernard had two chances there to deliver a telling cross, failed to do so. Page. No need to remind the Welsh players, of course, they conceded the first goal just 90 seconds before half-time. With 3 minutes to go here in Kiev.
Crowd starting to get on the Ukrainian players' backs.
And the way things are going, you'll have to say that Poland look like winning this group. Certain winners, and Belarus will be the runners-up. We're leading by a goal to nil in Oslo. Belkovic the goal scorer. 1-1 in Yerevan. It ended Armenia and Poland. 4 players sent off in that game. 3 from Armenia. Hartson is caught in a bit of possession. John Hartson. And it'll be a goal kick. And a bit of nonsense going on between Hartson and Halovko.
Yeah, we'll see this quite clearly here. I think John was just trying to settle him down. Just keeping his arms down, elbows flying.
Well, that means John Hartson's been booked and misses the next game in September, which is Armenia home. It's his second yellow.
Hand over the shoulder, I don't know what, up until this point. And then the 4 comes in. Halovko, the captain, and you know, pushes John Hartson into the face, but he gets away with it.
Pembridge. Jenkins. Jenkins has to chase back. Gets the better of Shevchenko.
Well done. Oh!
Just offside, I think. Was it John Hartson offside, or was Jason Kumas coming back from an offside
down there.
position?
That was well, it's a tricky decision. I always feel this when this ball is whipped up the sideline. Is the linesman looking at the player knocking the ball, or the player very, very close to him? And we can see where the decision has been given. Very close to the assistant referee on the far side.
Steve Jenkins took a knock. We're into the final 30 seconds of the 45 in the second half, the final 30 seconds of the 90 in the Welsh season, Ian. And a lot of positives tonight.
Well, there are, and you know, it's just a shame that we can't just take that lot of the good positive play into winning matches and getting the vital 3 points that you need to qualify for tournaments. But after Saturday's disappointment, Mark Hughes has done a very, very good job of lifting the players. You know, but we won't count our chickens here. They've still got a few seconds to hold on to. So unlucky with Ryan Giggs' effort in the first half. So unlucky I felt that John Hartson maybe could have got a penalty for Wales also in the first half. Second half performance has been excellent. I think majority of the players been in the Ukrainian half, and you know, some very, very good performances from the Welsh, especially the youngsters.
Don't forget the Ukraine have hit the bar and the post, but you expect maybe that when you're playing away from home. But all began last year in Minsk. We've been to Yerevan, Kiev. The Welsh tour of Eastern Europe this season is about to come to an end. Maybe on a very positive note, through to Giggs, Ryan Giggs, oh, great save. Shavkovsky just stuck out his right foot. And that was so close. A minute into injury time of
what a great
being
1-2.
A Welsh winner. Ryan Giggs denied by the keeper.
Yeah, that was as good as 1-2 as the goal that Ukraine scored. Absolutely brilliant between Ryan Giggs and Gary Speed. Oh, what a save. Shavkovsky again making up maybe for his poor effort from Mark Pembridge's goal. But this Giggs does everything right here. Can't do anything else. Hits the target. A ball that stayed in the air for a long time, kept his concentration.
And here's Simon Davis. Simon Davis trying to create the angle for himself. Davis shoots! Shavkovsky gathers.
Yeah, worthwhile effort. Bending and dipping in towards the goalkeeper from Simon Davis. Superb finish from the Welsh lads.
Nearly 2 minutes played of stoppage time. Wales have to defend here though, away by Melville. I have to say at times it looks as if Wales are the home side. Here comes Hartson. Gets it to Kumas, just too far ahead.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. John Hartson was falling over then as he was about to strike the ball, put a little bit too much on it. Game opening up really.
Nesmatchny, there are two waiting in the middle. Nesmatchny, it might drop here to Shevchenko. Well, that was a chance, wasn't it? That was a fantastic chance.
Well,
to seal 3 points for the Ukraine, and he just tried to place it, and it's gone out for a corner.
Yeah, not the most confident to finish, but again, Paul Jones using his legs to fantastic advantage there. Again, Rebrov gets a tough touch. A player of that quality, you think, is just going to finish it off. But Paul Jones making another tremendous save, just like Shavkovsky before him in the other goal, with his legs, all important. It's not all about your hands, and he knocks it away for a corner.
While all that was happening, Shavkovsky has been replaced by Maxim Levitsky of Spartak Moscow in goal. So 3 minutes of stoppage time played, and here comes Vorobye, and that's too far, and Steve Jenkins will just clear this away from danger. Kumas back into possession. Here is Jenkins, and it's a free kick to the Ukraine. Maybe the last piece of action tonight and in the Welsh season. They have to defend this. Should be Paul Jones. It's wide. Shevchenko was coming in again, and this just needed a touch, and he missed it completely, and that's another letter for Wales in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's another great opportunity for Shevchenko. Thankfully for the Welsh team, he's out of sorts with his finishing at the moment. World-class striker. Again, I must have had half an eye on the goalkeeper coming out, took his eye off the ball at the vital moment and just let it drift off his forehead wide of the post. What a great finish to this game though.
Well, it's like a cup tie, isn't it? And both sides could have won it. Ryan Giggs could have finished it for Wales, and Shevchenko certainly could have finished it off as far as the Ukraine are concerned. 1-1 it is though. We've had 4.5 minutes of stoppage time. And that is the end of the game. What a remarkable last 4 or 5 minutes, and the reaction of the crowd here says it all. I think they believe that the Ukrainians have said goodbye to World Cup qualification. 1 or 2 of their players are just lying around on the field. But Shevchenko, he'll live to regret missing those chances, I'm sure. But in the end, it's been a marvellous performance by Wales, who went a goal behind when Zubov scored just before half-time. But an excellent Welsh performance, on par with the one in Poland earlier on in the group, and an equaliser from Mark Pembridge.
Yeah, I thought good performance from the Welsh lads, and I think it's not what both teams wanted. A point each is no good to either side. Wales desperately wanted it, Ukraine wanted the 3 points as well. But you have to take some positives out of the Welsh performance. Yes, it's another draw. Unfortunately, we still can't keep a clean sheet. We always seem to score at international level, but at this point in time, perhaps not good enough. But a lot of positives from that match from the Welsh lads.
Final score here then in Kiev at the end of the season is the Ukraine 1, Wales 1.